Hi guys, this is Sniz with Bloodbane. I am gonna change how I'm doing. Excuse me, I'm doing videos these days. I've gotten pretty busy a little bit in real life, and also busy with some other Alliance stuff. So even though I've done like polished, produced videos in the past, and I was actually starting to get excited about doing those, I still may in the future. But I think probably the best way to do these videos, rather than even doing them by themes, is almost doing them like a video blog. Every couple of days, I mean, I'm learning this game as I'm going, so I figure maybe I'll just, every however often I can, maybe daily, maybe every 3 or 4 days, I'll just do a 1 to 2, maybe 3-part video, however much time it takes to just cover some stuff that I've recently learned, maybe cover some mistakes I've recently made, or whatever. As I've said before, I think I'm picking it up pretty quick, but I haven't been playing this game years and know everything or anything. I've only been playing, well, let's see here. I've been playing for 22 days, so I'm just learning as I'm going, making mistakes, recovering from them pretty fast, doing my research, and I'm just really trying to take what I've learned, what I'm learning, and the mistakes I've made, and put them in a video that's kind of easy for members to watch when they've got some time, and hopefully learn from my mistakes. So anyway, I haven't done a video in a little while, so I have several subjects I want to cover. Some of the earlier videos, even though I'd revise a little bit of that information, most of it's still pretty accurate. It covers a lot of the details of how to build a city and that kind of stuff, so I'm not really going to spend a lot of time on anything like that. I am right now, let's see, I think I'm settling my 11th city. So I'm going to kind of cover some of the 3, 4, 5, 6 transitions, because the game does change, and being able to predict what those future needs are going to be are going to help with the build. So sometimes I'll be showing you stuff on screen, sometimes I'll be just talking. So anyway, the basics, basic stuff I wanted to kind of cover today. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do the date on all these. It's August 12th. This is at least part 1 of an August 12th video blog. So anyway, the things that I've kind of been working through recently. One is to not underestimate your future gold needs. The basic layout, you've got the inner city. Let me just take a second on that, because I'm starting to see, you've got your grid. This is more the standard city layout, where you've got your left row of cottages, your first row of cottages, production in the middle, your boost row. You basically have a boost row, production row, boost row, production row all the way through. The best way to look at it, if you're going with the least recommended strategy, is you have basically 6 clusters. You've got your overboosters, and everything pretty well surrounds your overboosters. So this stone segment are these 5 stone mines surrounding this overbooster. This is another sector or segment. I've got six wood huts surrounding this sawmill. This is another sector, and this is another, this is another, and this is another. So I'm starting to look at my cities, the inner cities, as divided into 6 sections. So as far as which types of resources to produce involves what I need at the time. I'm starting to move in the direction of trying to maintain a fairly balanced production. I'm trying to work iron in there more as iron needs start to go up. And that's really kind of how I'm doing it. So the best way to look at your city is you've got these centered around these locations. You've got 6 sectors. So any one of these, like this sector here, could be a sector of 6 iron. This one could be stone. This entire city could be stone, although I don't recommend that, and so on. Now, the key is, as far as what you want to build the most, is, if you notice, these 2 sectors, the ones right across kind of the horizontal, or if the city were laid out the other way, the vertical axis, have 6 around them. So these are the prime real estate in the town. Where the corners, all the 4 corners, have only 5 resources around them. So the very first thing I do in terms of what city do I want to slightly, what resource do I want to slightly overproduce in this city, I want to overproduce whatever that is. I'd want to put in these 6 slaughters instead of the 5 slaughters. So if I maybe empire-wide was looking at a little bit of an iron shortage, if I were creating a perfectly balanced city, which would be 2 iron, two segments of iron, 2 segments of wood, and 2 segments of stone, I might actually, the very first thing I can do to kind of push one resource a little heavier is I can make these 2 positions the iron positions, which would have this city slightly overproducing iron. In this case, I'm still in an early building stage, so I'm focusing a lot on stone and wood. I am starting to have some cities that have iron in the inner city, but I'm still fairly heavily producing wood and stone. So this particular city is a balance. Now I do want to go over, I've seen all these posts about all wood cities, all stone cities, all gold cities. First of all, that's terribly inefficient. Second of all, when you get into city administration, which I'll cover some more stuff on that later, you get to a place with how many times a day do you want to log in and move resources around. Without warehouses, a city with the town hall 10 naturally has storage capacity for 175,000 items, or 175,000 capacity for each unit. So if I had one town producing all my iron, one town producing all my stone, one town producing all my wood, I'm actually cutting my storage capacity, my natural storage capacity, by a third. I'm also cutting, more important, or as important, my hideout capacity, because I'm trying to keep my resources under my hideout capacity so that a plunder gets almost nothing, and typically nothing. Anytime, any day anybody plunders any of my cities, if they were to get anything, it would be very, very little. Normally it'll cost them a ton and they'll get nothing. It's like the hideouts, your town halls, all of these locations, they store X of each type of resource. So unless you get into really working warehouses and trading prime real estate to plop warehouses to overstore certain items and whatnot, it really makes a lot more sense. When you got 30, 40 cities and you're moving resources back and forth and left and right, you're going to be logging on 16 times a day or sitting there full capacity and exposed to plunder if you don't maintain some kind of a balance. So I strongly recommend keeping a reasonable balance, not having an iron city and a stone city. Anyway, so back to what I was saying about the clusters. Like I said, that's what I'm doing here. Now, one thing I wanted to cover as you're transitioning, once you get up to about the third, fourth, maybe fifth city, you start to notice, the bottleneck I started to experience a little while there was gold. Gold becomes a key resource to start to produce. Now, I tend to, again, take a balanced approach. I don't believe in a gold city. There may come a point when the need for gold is just so horrendous, there may be a need to actually have a whole city producing gold. But as far as I'm concerned, every watered city, I use my outer city for significant gold production. And then typically my non-watered outer cities, I use a cluster or two of the outer city for a additional resource, an overboost resource, whether I'm, and that's typically based on demand. So this configuration, now one thing I'll cover on gold, marketplaces, though they are, and it's a little in-depth, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but a marketplace ultimately will only boost adjacent units by 20% at level 10. A harbor will produce a 50% bonus to neighboring units. So harbors are way better for a boost than marketplaces. Therefore, that's why I strongly favor building all of your gold production. Every city with the waterway, if you make that a gold producing city, I haven't had a gold shortage since I started doing this, and I don't even have all my cities decked out yet, watered cities with this gold production. So anyway, the marketplaces, I do not build any configurations where you surround the marketplaces with townhouses and whatnot to produce gold yet. If I ever needed a citywide gold production, that would obviously be the configuration to use. But for now, as far as I'm concerned, the marketplaces aren't here for gold production. These are the marketplaces I need anyway. So I build my gold production around my harbors. I don't build marketplaces specifically to boost gold production, but every city needs a marketplace, or two, or three or four. So as long as you're going to build marketplaces, this is the logical placement. These two out here, where I'd build two more if I ended up needing more marketplaces in this location. I'm going to go ahead and cut this in about 9 minutes on this one. This is going to be considered part 1 of today's video blog. I may end up doing 2 or 3, or who knows, even 4, because it's been about a week and a half since I've done a video. So I'm going to end part 1 here, and enjoy part 2 coming soon.